And now in an industry mainly dominated by males, Natalia Scott, or more recognisably known as MC Tali, or just Tali to some people, she has been, well, one of really only a handful of females to take the drum and bass and dubstep scene by storm. We did have a chat to Tali in early April, spoke about her roots. Taranaki girl, moved to Christchurch, started promoting D&B at gigs, got a massive break when she MC'd in Roni Size's Air in a Packed Club, and well, the rest is just history. The awards, the recognition, and we did last speak, it was right before the release of her new album Sampler. Now, a mere 5 months later, boom, she's back, the full album, and I would like to give you a very warm welcome, Tali. Welcome back to the show, taking time out of your day. I believe you're in LA at the moment, actually.
Hey, yes I am indeed. I've got a really nice view from the building where I am at the moment of hazy but very sunny LA, and hope you guys are all good over there.
Oh yeah, well, it's not sunny unfortunately. It's supposed to be later on today, so we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But now it has been a while. It has been a while since we last spoke. You're on the other side of what you described in April. It was going to be a very hectic summer of gigs. How did that all pan out for you?
Well, it's still kind of panning out as we speak, but yeah, it's been pretty amazing. A lot happening, obviously, the album dropping, and it ended up being a double album, electronic version and live studio version, produced by Ant Miles, and then from there just playing numerous gigs, touring Europe. Now I'm in America, got a few dates here, and then when I get back to England, I've got to pack up my life basically and move to New Zealand next month.
Oh, fantastic. Now, okay, obviously you're here to talk about your sophomore album, Dark Days and High Nights. It was released yesterday, is that right, on Audio Porn Records?
Well, yesterday on general release. It was actually released last week exclusively on iTunes, but general release yesterday on Beatport and other places, other websites like that. Yeah, and like I said, it's sort of a double album. The live album is 7 of those tunes remixed acoustically, and the other version is dubstep and drum and bass and a bit of electro house. Just kind of representing the title really, Dark Days and High Nights.
Now you got some pretty mouth-watering collabs on there: Schism, Dirty Phonics, Ed Rush, Shyman, just for, well, to name a few. Can you tell me more about working with some of those names?
Yeah, sure. A lot of the collaborations were actually connections with people I'd previously made. I sort of feel like when you're going to do collaborations, it's best if you've already sort of got a working relationship with a lot of the producers, most of them of which I do. People like Dirty Phonics I'd worked with previously on tunes such as The Secret. Shimon, you know, we'd kind of done a few tunes leading up to the album anyway that we hoped would make it on there, 2 of which did. But then there were some people that I hadn't actually met. People like Forward, who are foursome guys who are from Austria. They sent me over the tune, and to begin with I was sort of thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to want to work with people I've never met, but sometimes the music just, you know, it speaks to you, and I knew that I wanted to have that tune on there, especially as it was a tune that was sent to me literally a week after the Christchurch earthquake. I thought that was the perfect way to sort of reconnect with everyone back home. And people like Schism, I mean, before he was Schism, he was working as a duo under the name Stereotype, and I did a breakbeat tune for him for a project he did called What's That Noise. So a lot of the people that I collaborated with are just people that I've either raved with in the scene, I've worked with before, or that I've toured with, and like Lynx, for example, I've always wanted to work with him. You know, he did a tune with me for his album, and then he sent me a whole number of tunes, but I only liked 2 of them out of about 7, so I was pretty spoilt for choice.
Oh, not a problem. Has it kind of changed your outlook now that you have worked with artists that you didn't necessarily have a relationship with before? Is it, you know, something that you want to look to do more in the future, or are you still looking to kind of develop a relationship, get to know somebody?
Not necessarily, because I have actually guested on a lot of singles with people, so I have done that before. It was more for my album. It was a kind of a case of I wanted it to be, you know, it's my album, so it needs to be personal, it needs to represent me, whereas in the past a lot of the things I'd done were vocals representing not just me but also those producers. So in the sense of you know, it's made me sort of realise that I don't want to just pick a tune just because a certain producer has sent it to me. It has to be a representative of where I'm at in my life and what story I'm trying to tell, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, no, totally.
for example, like Bengo sent me a dubstep tune a few weeks ago, and obviously I want to work with Bengo because he's a big name, but I wouldn't have just chosen a tune if it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense it's made me very clear that the music has to speak before the name of the producer, really.
Oh, well, that's a great way of going about it. Now, awesome. Obviously, the album itself, it's in two parts. One live, as you just mentioned before, and one is more of a studio. Can you explain kind of what prompted you to do that? Is that something that had always been in the works, or...?
No, not really. It was kind of an accident, actually. The thing is that when you guys called me back in April, I was jamming with these guys called More Like Trees, and they were sort of like jamming my album songs and kind of just playing around with them for fun.
Yeah.
And the more they sort of did it, the more we were like, we should have a show. You know, we should put this on and sort of like give people a bit of a sneak preview of what the album will sound like, but acoustically. You know, just something different to your normal album launch, I guess. So we did this show. It was like a VIP show. We only invited about 60 friends and family, put on a champagne reception, put it on in a warehouse in North London. And one of the people who actually came to see it was Ant Miles. And Ant Miles is, he's of legendary drum and bass Ram fame. He made Long Dark Tunnel with Andy C and numerous other tunes, and he saw it and he just was like, Tali, this is incredible. I really want to put you guys into the studio and record it. I feel like it shows a different side to you. It shows off your singing quality, your songwriting ability. And we were obviously like, yeah, let's do it. You know, it's something different. We didn't really know where it would go, but we went into the studio and we recorded it, and then Shimon heard it, who obviously is the founder of Audio Porn Records, and he was like, yeah, you know, let's do this as a sort of a double album, but let's make it in two halves because it gives people the option. They don't have to buy the whole thing if they don't want to. It gives people like my mum a chance to listen to the live album. She's probably obviously going to be more into that than say the dubstep. Yeah. So yeah, I think because I've been a singer and a songwriter since I was about 10, I think this is a part of me that always needed to come out, and it's giving those who don't necessarily know that about me a chance to see that and hear that.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Now, you are obviously in Los Angeles, you're on the back of a tour. How has the reception been when you head over to places like the United States? Obviously, dubstep and drum and bass is blowing up there massively. What's your experience been with it?
Well, do you know what? This is only my second day in LA. I arrived last night, so I'm yet to start touring. I actually start touring in 2 days. I came here 4 days earlier because I just wanted some chill time. I often find that when I get here, it's really, really hectic. I might get a bit sick on tour, or I get really worn out. So I thought I'm going to play it safe this time and come for 4 days and chill. But generally, when I come over to the States, the reception is always really, really good. The nights aren't maybe as big as they are in other countries. The scene is still relatively niche, although dubstep is massive here now. So I'm expecting that the shows where there's dubstep DJs performing, I expect that they're going to be a little bit larger. But I always have a good time when I come to the States, whether the gig is big or small. It's just that feeling of being somewhere different and being around a different culture, and you know, they're always up for it. The Americans and the Canadians are always up for a good time. Yeah,
no, definitely. Now, finally, you did mention just a bit earlier, you are, and when we did speak in April, you mentioned you were coming or planning to move back to Aotearoa in November. This is still in the plans, and could you maybe, I'm just taking a stab here, gracing one of our many New Year's Eve festivals?
Say that last bit. Could I maybe what?
Gracing one of our many New Year's Eve festivals this year?
Yes, I am actually. Do you know, I'm so excited. When I get back to New Zealand a week later, I've actually got to go and tour Japan, which is like, God, I would have just got home and I'm off again. But I'm really looking forward to my summer. I've got a date penciled in for Wellington in November, which will be at Sandwiches, and I think D-Dog is putting that on. But then the 28th and the 29th, I will be playing at Rhythm and Alps. In the South Island in Canterbury.
Oh, fantastic.
The first night I'm doing a live and acoustic set with a guitarist from Christchurch, and the second night I will be emceeing with RTJ Bookham, and then the 30th and the 31st I'm going to be playing and hosting at La Di Da Festival in Martinborough, Wellington.
Oh, so wicked.
I'm really excited.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it there, but thank you very much, Tali, for taking time out of your schedule. And
Oh, most
joining us
welcome.
again
Thank you
this
for
week.
having me, and big ups to all the listeners, and big ups to all you guys again, and hopefully I'll see you all in a couple of months.
We look very much forward to it. Thank you again.
All right, take care. Bye.
And that is Tali, brand new off the release, her brand new LP, Dark Days and High Nights.